From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 15th, 2018. Israeli aircraft once again fired warning shots at a Palestinian terror cell, launching incendiary balloons over the Gaza security fence into Israel. No injuries were reported. The IDF said it views the use of incendiary balloons and kites with great severity and will operate to prevent their use. This was the third time in 48 hours that Israel fired such warning shots at these groups working on and launching these devices. This morning, a balloon with an explosive device attached to it was flown over the fence from Gaza into Israel, landing on a highway in the Sha'ar HaNegev region. Police sappers were called to the scene and conducted a controlled explosion. Such balloons and kites have sparked massive fires across southern Israel, destroying thousands of acres of farmland, forests, and nature reserves. Meanwhile, Gazans also gathered not far from the fence today to observe Eid al-Fitr, the last day of the holy Muslim month of Ramadan. In Jerusalem, tens of thousands of Muslim worshippers gathered to pray at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Temple Mount. In remarks to the worshippers today, senior Muslim cleric Muhammad Hussein spoke of the U.S. peace plan expected to be unveiled soon, claiming that the plan is unfair to the Palestinian people. He said it was aimed at liquidating their cause. As we reported to you, the U.S. peace team of Jared Kushner and Jason Greenblatt are expected back in Israel next week to discuss the peace initiative. 26 Jewish groups signed a letter to U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions protesting the U.S. government's immigration policy of separating children from their migrant parents, calling the policy cruel, unethical, and un-American. The letter was spearheaded by the Anti-Defamation League, and signers included representatives of the conservative, reform, and reconstructionist movements, the American Jewish Committee, HIAS, and the Jewish Women's International. In the letter to Sessions, the Jewish groups write, "As Jews, we understand the plight of being an immigrant, fleeing violence and oppression. We believe that the United States is a nation of immigrants, and how we treat the stranger reflects on the moral values and ideals of this nation." The Orthodox Union, who faced criticism for hosting Sessions at their annual conference in Washington this week, released a statement yesterday saying that as an Orthodox Jewish organization whose values are anchored in those of the Torah and Jewish history, we are deeply concerned about any steps taken that affect families and the parent-child relationship. Writing thus, we believe that immigration, asylum, and border security policies must also be fashioned and implemented in a manner that takes all steps possible to keep parents and children united. A state in Spain has passed a motion endorsing the BDS, Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement that seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. The Parliament of Navarre voted to endorse BDS last month, making it the first ever state in Spain to do so. The motion calls on the central government of Spain to support any initiative promoted by the BDS campaign, and calls for Spain to suspend its ties with Israel until, quote, that country ceases its policy of criminal repression of the Palestinian population, unquote. It also condemns Israel for the violence at the Gaza fence and makes no mention of terror group Hamas, nor does it acknowledge Israel's right to defend itself. Earlier this month, the City Council of Valencia, which is Spain's third largest city, passed a similar motion boycotting Israel. Spanish pro-Israel advocacy group ACOM condemned the motions as full of malicious inaccuracies that foment anti-Semitism. Over 30 headstones were destroyed at a Jewish cemetery in Manchester, England recently. The Jewish Chronicle reports there were 3 separate incidents reported over the last month of headstones at the Urmston Jewish Cemetery toppled over and smashed. Police are investigating the incidents as hate crimes, and patrols in the area have been increased. Well, Iraq's representative at the 2017 Miss Universe pageant, Sara Idan, was in Israel this week. If you recall, last year, Idan made headlines when she posed for a photo with her Israeli counterpart, last year's Miss Israel, Adar Gandelsman. The photo, posted on Instagram, caused outrage in her home country, and threats forced her family to flee Iraq. Idan, who lives in the U.S., came to Israel this week at the invitation of the American Jewish Committee. She was warmly welcomed in Jerusalem's Machane Yehuda market and also reunited with her former fellow contestant. Spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Ophir Gandelsman, shared the photos of the two women reconnecting on social media, writing, "Friendly relations between Israelis and Arabs will definitely help in ushering in a better tomorrow for all of us in the Middle East." And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, June the 15th, live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue. At 7:30, it's Pharaoh's Daughter in concert. At 8, former UK Chief Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks speaks at the 92nd Street Y. At 9, it's the film 1 Out of 10. At 10, New Jewish Cinema, and at 10:30, Musica. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 5:30, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin looks at this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 15th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.